St. Louis Riders have combined the old with the new, which in effect is the tradition and legacy of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Really got to know them, even to the point where I think we kind of liked each other. And that happened, we started in 2002, probably September of 2011, we finally got to that point.
Unlike some other St. Louis professional franchise owners who will go unnamed but not unloathed, the DeWitts are a key part of the St. Louis fabric.
I was shocked. I mean, we walked out there and the place exploded, and then they started chanting, but that's for another story. But,
and to my wife, Martha, I'm sorry for the many evenings, dinner dates that you had to spend alone while I was at the ballpark. I love you.
When I was 13 years old, my father took me to the Baseball Writers Dinner. I was sitting out there looking at the big leaguers, and now, full circle, I'm up here as the sports columnist for the Post-Dispatch, and my father, Jerry Hockman, is in attendance. So, hey, Dad, good to see you.
This has to be the least amount anyone's ever played to get this award. I mean, I did rack up a cool 8 innings, I think, after I came back. But
to Mr. Wainwright, the reason you get awards every year is simply because you're a great speaker. And people always want to hear you. And hopefully it's Man of the Year next year.
When Harris, at 27, made his debut last April 25th, he became the first graduate of the Naval Academy to reach the major leagues since 1921.
as a business decision, that doesn't seem that smart to take a guy in a draft that you know is not going to play for you for at least 2 years. So for this team to take me, and then not only did they have to wait 2 years, but they had to wait 5. And then when I called and asked if I could still come, they said absolutely. I can't tell you how much that means to me to show what this organization is about.
Michael, let's answer the question everybody really wants to know, which is how many people knocked down the Tower of Cups that Carlos built in the dugout each and every day?
I think Wayno knocked it down a couple times. I know I got in there, but it always kept us loose in the dugout, which was always fun. And whenever he's not making cups, cup pyramids, he's a great pitcher. You know, no, he's a heck of a member of our staff, and you know, I'm glad he's gonna be back healthy. You know, in this 2016.
It's just it's a pleasure to go to work every day, and last year was another great example of that.
Thank you, fans, for your support. Thank you, Cardinal organization, for giving me the opportunity. And just say, I will be ready for this season. And I promise you guys, we're gonna championship this year.
I have spoken before this wonderful audience many times. And every time I think I have found the words to say what had to be said. Tonight is different. Tonight my colleagues have asked me to help us honor the legacy of Yogi Berra.
I know I'm in St. Louis, and if that was an STL, you might have a lot more world championships to cheer about.
Everybody knows, everybody in this room knows what an incredible baseball player my grandfather was. We don't really have to talk about the stats, but when there's so many young ball players here, there is one that I like to mention just to give you all something to shoot for. In 1950, Grandpa had 656 plate appearances. He played 151 games as a catcher. He hit .322, and he struck out 12 times.
Maybe what the NFL said about us isn't so bad. It's not bad to be a baseball town. Because as we've seen, whether it's the story of Mitch Harris or the story of Yogi Berra, you can trust baseball.
It's an interesting role pitching the 9th inning where I get to basically not do anything the whole game, but kind of sit back and watch. To see these guys and all the hard work they put in for those 8 innings and to get us the lead, and then I basically come in and just try not to mess it up.
Once we got into the playoffs, all that matters is that we got there, and then we got hot, and then you know, the rest is history from there.
I had history with the Cardinals my whole life, so for me it wasn't just a dream and chasing to be a major leaguer. When I got to be a St. Louis Cardinal, that was a lot to me.
It's a commitment, the same way Josh has committed to keep growing his playoff beard. 10 years later. Thank you.
No matter what happened, that group always knew that we had a chance, and ultimately everybody had each other's back, and that's how special things happen.
to load the bases was the smart play. It made the force out at any base. And as any good sabermetrician knows, it gave me more odds to get an out. I mean, it was a no-brainer.
Thank you, everybody in St. Louis. Even though I'm here in Japan, my heart is always be with the Cardinals.
We had all pitchers, and then So was right next to us. Watashi wa ongaku suki desu. No. So didn't teach me that, but I do know a little Japanese now.
Because that walk that lowered the bases, Izzy did that all the time. He'd get 2 outs with nobody on, and he'd get 2 or 3 guys on base and just look at me suffer with that big smile and say, hey, what are you worried about? I'm going to get him.
There was like an 18-year-old waitress walked up to me and said, that was a tough loss last night. It was like the first week of the season. I went, whoa. Like, if I was in Anaheim, they'd have been like, hey, surf's up, huh? So it kind of opened my eyes a little bit, and I said, oh, I got my hands full with this city.
And it's a different, these guys, especially these young guys over here that are making your ways up, it's different here, I promise you. It's not like this everywhere else. You better enjoy the time you have right now and try to do the best you can.
The 2006 World Champions.